President Brian, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me to be with you today. Can I say thank you, Brian, for your generous introduction. I can assure you I've retired from all that backroom stuff these days. In fact, my cabinet colleagues say that the secret of our success in the polls is that I was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs and therefore have to spend most of my time overseas. I've got some prepared remarks for you today on what we're doing with the Foreign Affairs Ministry, but if you'll permit me just to digress for a minute, first I wanted to reflect on the tragic events in Christchurch a week ago. In fact, last Tuesday morning I was in Christchurch, and I left on a plane about an hour before the earthquake. And on Friday of last week I went back to meet with primarily members of the diplomatic community who were down there, but the Mayor and Jerry Brownlee and others as well, to really to say to the diplomatic community that there were going to be very significant losses of life from the earthquake, and a very significant proportion of those lives lost will be of nationals of other countries. In particular at the CTV building where the International Language School was located, that will be the location of the worst losses and the largest number, and it's already been, I think, reported that somewhere up to 20 different countries will have people lost as a consequence of the earthquake. I'll be back probably in the next 48 hours again to see what's now, I understand, over 1,000 international media representatives and of course a large number of diplomatic representatives, because at some point in the next few days the civil defence controllers and the police will decide to move from what they call the rescue stage to the recovery stage, which is the point at which you're really giving some very bad news, the very worst news you can give to anyone about the presumption about those who are missing. Just two things I wanted to say, because a lot of people have been doing a tremendous amount. My office is working around the clock, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is working around the clock at the moment. And as we draw to the end of the rescue phase, I think we need to first of all note that we've had a large amount of expert help from a lot of other countries. No country on earth can keep the urban search and rescue expertise available that can deal with a tragedy of this size. You simply have to rely on other countries, and so we've had these excellent skilled people from Japan, from Taiwan, from China, from Singapore, from the United States, from the UK, about as far away as you can come. I've been here with an expert team, and of course primarily from Australia. We've got two teams and enormous other resources. And a big chunk of our role has been to coordinate the office and to make sure that we treat them well. And of course, as we move into the next stage, where there is a gruesome task to be undertaken, we again have got victim identification specialists from most of the countries I've mentioned and a number of others as well, including Israel, where they have significant expertise in this area. And I just wanted to say to you that on behalf of all of my cabinet colleagues, we've been meeting a lot recently. We take the responsibility of dealing with the situation very seriously. As far as our international guests are concerned, we try to make sure they're extended every courtesy and every consideration. And we want to try and ensure that as best we can in these very difficult circumstances, that New Zealand acquits itself well. And I think our Prime Minister has absolutely led from the front in that respect. So the next few days will be difficult. Indeed, the next few weeks will be quite difficult, but everyone has been magnificent and given up their any sense of leisure or any sense of rest time as well. And I'm very pleased to be able to say to you that I think we're doing everything we can within the limitations that clearly exist in a tragedy of this sort. I decided that I would give you the speech that I had intended to give you today and not release it to the news media because I didn't want to look like I was doing business, if you like, at a time like this, but I think the message that I wanted to give you today is one that I did want to have the opportunity to present, and we'll think about how we can ensure that it gets a wider audience on a later occasion. Because I wanted to talk to you as a business-oriented group in the nation's capital